A howling gale tore through the streets of Newark on the evening of 18th October 1216. A mid-sized market town located some 40 miles inland from the North Sea, it was rare for a storm to give rise to the levels of concern often felt by citizens of its coastal counterparts. Lying on both the Great North Road and the Fosse Way, the area was popular with travellers, especially cloth and wool merchants, in town to sell their wares. The early 12th century bridge over the Trent had improved the trade links further, and by the reign of Henry II, the market had become well established. Though most of the buildings were of timber construction, even at the height of winter, weather damage was often repairable. This was not the first time the town had been forced to endure such a tempest. Behind the sturdy stone walls of the nearby Norman castle, the abbot of Croxton had far more troubling issues to address. The South Riverside fortress, though by no means immune to regular splashback, was far better prepared for nature's challenges than the earlier Mott and Bailey that had preceded it. The same lack of worry, however, could not be said of the crisis that had brought him there. Renowned for his medical expertise, it didn't take him long to realize that the patient he had been asked to treat was beyond hope of recovery. Rather than prolong the inevitable, he heard the dying man's confession and performed the last rites. The storm was over by sunrise. Blighted by a combination of chronic fatigue, dysentery brought about from years of poor diet, and a sudden fever, King John passed away in the early hours of 19th October, after more than 17 years on the throne. His final year had been a black one for England. Accusations of betrayal against his own family and an inability to keep his allies on side had contributed in no small part to humiliating defeat on the continent. By 1214, the loss of much of his ancestral birthright had been compounded by domestic discord. Loathed in equal measure by natural adversary and should-be follower, John's life ended ignominiously amid a strange alliance of foreign invader and baronial rebel. Somewhat surprisingly, perhaps, it ended through natural causes. If John's fall from grace was not extraordinary in itself, his path to the throne was every bit so. The fifth and youngest son of Henry II and Eleanor of Aquitaine, John's chances of wearing the crown had been slim.